Quick PSA, you can get 20% off MetaQuest games until January 1st using promo code VRReviews at checkout. After Jan 1st it drops to 10% and it doesn't work on Deadpool unfortunately. Plus you'll get $30 in free Quest Store credit when you buy Quest 3 or 3S using the same promo code. Wait, don't skip ahead just yet, this list covers my top 10 Quest 3 games from 2025 only. If you want a much bigger list, I made a top 30 Quest games list about 11 months ago that covers everything in the Quest library up until 2025. So make sure to check that out for a broader set of recommendations, but this video is strictly about 2025 releases. Okay, now we're good, let's get into it. ARKEN is the first game, and it's a game that's always going to make this list. It's undeniably one of the best VR games of the year, and it was made by a tiny 2 to 4 person team at Vitruvius VR, which is honestly wild. I don't know what kind of magic they bottled while making this thing, but almost everything hits, from traversal to combat, exploration, and okay, the story could be stronger, but hey, nobody's perfect. Now there's heaps of variety here and customization too, so you can really make the game your own. The mechanics are tight, the world is polished, there's tons to discover, and you're looking at roughly 10 to 15 hours of content. Combat, both melee and ranged, is super satisfying, enemies react intelligently, swordplay feels impactful, and armor literally flies off in chunks when you land clean hits. Plus the visuals, absolutely gorgeous. It's a must-have from me. Next up is Ghost Town, a spooky narrative-driven puzzle adventure that's visually stunning and packed with atmospheric storytelling. The interactions feel incredibly smooth here, which is something you definitely come to appreciate after surviving a decent amount of VR jank like I have. And the puzzles hit that Goldilocks zone of just right, not too hard, not too cryptic, but not too easy either. It has spooky themes, but it's honestly not that scary if you're not into horror. The only downside I think is the length, clocking in around 5 hours, but that's pretty standard for games of this genre, so it's not too out of the ordinary. DEMEO BATTLEMARKED D&D edition is next on the list. Another huge highlight this year, DEMEO BATTLEMARKED is a full tabletop role-playing adventure. Yes, it has a handful of 1-star reviews complaining about bugs, some of which I also ran into by the way, but bugs can, and often already have been, patched, so it's not a deal breaker for me personally. The core game is the real story here, and this is the DEMEO that I've always wanted. The classic DEMEO gameplay, but now with a proper Dungeons & Dragons style narrative. One of the biggest complaints about the original DEMEO was the lack of story. It felt like a string of dungeons glued together with duct tape, and BATTLEMARKED fixes that. Whether you're exploring Neverwinter on the brink of war in the Embers of Chaos campaign, or braving Icewind Dale against wolves and frost giants, you're getting a full fantasy narrative experience here. 2 full campaigns, around 12ish hours in total, plus dialogue, side quests, branching paths, 4-player multiplayer with crossplay and a mixed reality mode too. Although one word of warning here, if you are into stats and number crunching, you might feel a little let down, as this game keeps it simple when it comes to that kind of thing. If you want to find out more, just check out my review, which I'll link above. If you've ever wanted Battlefield in VR, this is it. Forefront is a large-scale VR warfare game with 32-player online battles across land, air and sea. You got the works here, you got tanks, boats, helicopters, you name it. There's even dynamic destruction of the environment that reshapes the battlefield mid-fight. Everything here is tuned for fast, immersive, high-impact VR gameplay. Weapons, classes, gadgets, vehicles. One of the best multiplayer experiences you can have on your Quest to date, in my opinion. Forefront is definitely worthy of a spot on this list. Of Light and Rain is the next game. This is a Half-Life Alyx clone. If you've ever played Half-Life Alyx, you'll notice a lot of similarities with this game, and in my opinion, it's one of the best VR shooters since Half-Life Alyx, with immersive climbing mechanics, tactical gunplay, and a strong sense of physical presence. The immersive atmosphere is strong in this game, and if you value a decent story, ambience, and clever VR design, plus you're a fan of Half-Life Alyx, this is one to definitely check out. Now pacing can be a bit slow at times with this game, and because it's an indie production, it doesn't have the same visual and polish that you'll get from a AAA experience. Otherwise, it plays like a worthy cousin to Half-Life Alyx, familiar but different enough to feel fresh and exciting. Next up is the game that proves virtual murder is, in fact, the superior form of cardio. GORN 2 is the spiritual successor to the original. is still a full-body physics fever dream, but this time there's actually a storyline. You'll battle your way through 5 sons of the god of the afterlife in a campaign that is somehow both ridiculous and oddly epic. They went all out with the weapons this time. We're talking 35 different tools of destruction, giant maces, bows, throwing knives. You can dual wield almost everything, and now weapons can also be customized. You've got enchantments, elemental mods, upgrades. It's like the first GORN but injected with pure protein powder and steroids. It's now bigger, dumber, stronger, and absolutely glorious. Reach VR is nDream's most ambitious project yet. You play as a stunt double who accidentally becomes the only person qualified to unravel the mysteries of an underground civilization. As you do, you'll square off against mythical creatures, explore ruins, and zipline across massive caverns. If you like platforming, arcade-style combat, and a protagonist who narrates like she's auditioning for a true crime podcast, then this one could be for you. It's packed with content, polished, and surprisingly funny. You're getting a full 6 to 8 hour campaign here, and longer if you're the type who must collect every shiny thing or insists on playing on the harder difficulties. Great action, great pacing, and a reminder that yes, VR can still do AAA full story campaigns. If you're after an intense action horror VR shooter, Alien Rogue Incursion absolutely nails it. You play as Zula Hendrix, blasting your way through a massive research facility overrun with xenomorphs. The weapons feel incredible to use, shotgun shell loading, revolver ejecting, pulse rifle mag slapping panic included, although I am slightly bummed that the pulse rifle isn't the version that you see on the Aliens movie with the grenade launcher on the bottom. Still, the aliens here are fast, aggressive, and constantly flanking you from vents and ceilings just like you see in the films. The story is surprisingly engaging, it's tense, punchy, and packed with memorable moments. Yes, the Quest 3 version does make some visual sacrifices, but the core gameplay shines with immersive interactions, great sound design, and combat that will keep your heart racing from start to finish. If you want a thrilling, action-heavy VR take on the Alien universe, then this is absolutely worth picking up. Next on the list is a game that proves VR can be as chaotic and as hilarious as a comic book on steroids. DEADPOOL VR is our next game, and if you've ever wanted to step in the shoes of the merc with the mouth, this is your chance. The game captures Deadpool's signature blend of absurd humour, over-the-top violence, and fourth wall breaking antics down to a T. The combat is frantic, messy, and a whole lot of fun. You'll slice, shoot, and smash your way through hordes of enemies, with Deadpool making wisecracks faster than your head can spin. Weapons are varied and wacky, from katanas to dual pistols, grenades, and even explosive rubber chickens. Each one perfectly suited for the game's chaotic and slightly weird combat. But it's not all about the mindless combat here. Developers have really leaned into the interactive storytelling too, with cutscenes, dialogue, and environmental jokes that really make you feel like you're a part of a living, breathing comic book. It's loud, irreverent, and ridiculously fun. Exactly how Deadpool should feel. And before I wrap up, I've got 5 honourable mentions worth shouting out, and the first is Thief VR Legacy of Shadow, a genuinely enjoyable stealth experience with polished intuitive mechanics and cleverly designed environments. It only missed the list because it's on the short side at around 4 to 5 hours, and 2 of the maps are reused. The final boss is also not so great, but otherwise it's absolutely worth playing. The next is Laser Dance. The premise of this game is simple: move from one end of the room to the other, trying to survive increasingly brutal laser obstacle courses. Now, I played this a ton with my family, casting it to the TV and taking turns. It just narrowly missed out because it's still in early access and a bit light on content, but I'm really excited for the full release. My third mention would be Banners and Bastions is a mixed reality roguelike real-time strategy game where you defend your base across procedurally generated maps filled with enemies. It's got everything you'd expect from a classic fantasy setting. The magic here is how effortlessly it blends tactical planning with fast, chaotic combat, and the best part, it's stupidly easy to learn. This one almost made my top 10 list. It's still in early access, so I'm very excited to see how the final version shapes up. Fourth shout out would be Harper Gun, an on-the-rail shooter with fantastic weapon mechanics that let you grab, throw, and improvise your way through chaotic high-intensity battles. Just pure, simple arcade fun. And finally, into the Radius 2. This is an early access game, but it's still a strong survival experience. The looting is great, the entities are terrifying, and the addition of multiplayer makes everything even better. Exploring the Radius with friends is an absolute blast. Although it's still in early access, it's absolutely worth a look in. And that's it for this list. Remember, use promo code VRReviews to get money off any full price games in the MetaQuest store, except for Deadpool. And if you have found the list helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, a subscribe if you're not subscribed already, or even a hype if you think this video is worth it. Let me know your thoughts on this list in the comment section below. Always love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching as always. I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye for now.